All right, let's dive into something super practical today. We're going to tackle how to nail that hydrogeologist job interview. How to impress those hiring managers and land that dream job. We've got RoleCatcher's resources to guide us, so we're going to be prepped like pros.
It's really amazing. Hydrogeologists are kind of like water detectives, right? They're piecing together these mysteries of underground water flow and contamination risks, of course. Really, they're guardians of this precious resource, working in all sorts of environments, mines, government agencies, consulting firms, all to ensure sustainable practices.
It's definitely a critical role, especially now, with everyone focused on responsible water management. And
Yeah.
speaking of opportunity, RoleCatcher's Career Guide. It points to a really positive employment outlook for hydrogeologists. So the demand for these skills is on the rise, so now's the time to jump in, right?
Absolutely. And before we even get to the interview questions, let's talk about how RoleCatcher's AI can be a secret weapon. Their platform analyzes job descriptions and everything. It helps you tailor your CV and resume to hit those key points. The things that hiring managers are looking for. It's almost like having a personalized career coach,
Yeah.
someone who knows exactly what'll make you stand out from the crowd.
Okay, I love that. So it's all about showcasing your strengths in a way that connects with employers, especially those uh, automated systems that everyone's using. But let's focus on the interview questions for now. Ready to dive in?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, picture this. You're sitting across from the hiring manager and they ask, can you explain your experience with groundwater modeling?
Mhm.
Sounds a little intimidating, right? But don't worry, we're going to break it down.
It's really important to remember the interviewer isn't just looking for a list of software. They want to see how you've used modeling to solve real-world problems, how you think critically, and how you communicate those complex ideas.
So instead of just saying, oh, yeah, I'm familiar with ModFlow,
Yeah.
you want to give them a specific example, right? Maybe talk about a project where you used modeling to assess the impact of a landfill on groundwater quality or something.
Exactly. Walk them through the challenges, the decisions you made, and the results. You could use the STAR method. Situation, task, action, result. That always helps structure your answer.
Love the STAR method. It's a classic. Okay, next question. Test your passion. How do you stay up to date with new developments in hydrogeology?
This one's all about showing your enthusiasm and your commitment to continuous learning. Think about professional organizations, like NGWA, that's the National Groundwater Association, as well as industry journals and conferences you've attended.
You could mention subscriptions to Groundwater or Hydrogeology Journal,
Mm-hmm.
or even highlight a recent conference presentation that got you thinking. It shows you're really plugged into the hydrogeology community.
Right, it shows initiative and that desire to learn. Maybe there's a new modeling technique or a recent study, something on contaminant transport that you found really interesting. Share those insights. Show them you're passionate.
Okay, next one is a bit of a detective puzzle. The question is, can you explain how you would select a site for a groundwater monitoring well?
This is where your knowledge of hydrogeology really comes in. The interviewer is checking if you understand things like depth to the water table, proximity to contamination sources, and of course, the accessibility of the site itself.
It's more than just listing those factors, though, right? It's about showing you can think critically and strategically. Like, are there any geological formations or land use practices that might influence your decision? What about nearby wells or surface water? Would you consider those?
Absolutely, and don't be afraid to think outside the box. Maybe you've encountered a unique situation in your work or studies. Share those experiences and how you adapted your approach. It shows you can apply your knowledge to real-world situations.
I like that. And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can really help you here. It analyzes those job descriptions, helps you highlight the right skills, the ones that are most relevant for each role.
Exactly. It's all about showcasing your expertise in a way that aligns with what the company needs.
All right, let's get into the hands-on part of hydrogeology. The question is, can you describe your experience with hydrogeologic fieldwork?
This is your time to shine, show off those practical skills, your ability to handle those real-world challenges in the field. Don't just say you've done field work, be specific. Talk about drilling wells, conducting pumping tests, installing monitoring equipment, collecting water samples.
Paint them a picture. What were the conditions like? What obstacles did you face? How did you overcome them? It really brings your experience to life.
Right, and be ready for those follow-up questions. The interviewer might ask, what was the most challenging fieldwork situation you encountered, and how did you handle it?
Having a good story ready to go can really make you stand out. It shows you can think on your feet, adapt to changes, and stay calm under pressure. All essential for any hydrogeologist. We've covered 4 questions so far, and we're just getting started. Let's take a quick break, and when we're back, we'll tackle even more interview questions and see how RoleCatcher can help you prep like a pro.
Sounds good. Welcome back. Let's get right back to it. We're talking about acing that hydrogeologist interview, and speaking of acing it, RoleCatcher's AI can help you really refine your answers. It's like having this virtual coach in your pocket, someone who knows exactly what hiring managers are looking for.
That sounds really useful. How does it actually work, though?
Well, their AI digs into those job descriptions, pulls out those keywords and skills that are super important, for the specific role you're going for. Then it gives you feedback on your interview answers, helps you tailor them and highlight your most relevant experience.
So you're not just giving some generic answer. It's all about making sure you're hitting those key points. That's pretty cool.
Exactly, takes the guesswork out of prepping. And there's this video practice feature too, so you can record yourself answering questions, get feedback on your delivery, even body language.
Wow, it's like a mock interview with a personal coach. Must be a little nerve-wracking, but I can see how valuable that would be.
Oh yeah, the more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become. All right, back to those interview questions. We've covered some already, but there are always those curveballs. Interviewers love to throw those in, really test your knowledge and problem solving.
You're right. Got to be prepared for those follow-up questions. Like, let's say you're discussing your experience.
Yeah.
With contaminant transport modeling, what then?
Yeah, they might ask something like, can you describe a time when your modeling results led to a significant change in project design? Or maybe, what are the limitations of contaminant transport modeling, and how do you address them in your work?
They want to see that critical thinking. Those are great examples. So it's not just about knowing how to run the model. It's about understanding the limitations and interpreting those results in a meaningful way, making judgments based on the data.
Exactly. Okay, let's shift gears, talk about aquifer testing. They might ask, how do you choose the right aquifer testing method? For a specific situation, of course. Or they could ask about potential sources of error in testing, and how you'd mitigate them.
Oh, those are tough ones.
Yeah.
You really have to know the different methods inside and out, the challenges, how to ensure accurate data collection and interpretation.
Yeah, it's about showing that expertise and attention to detail. But, a well-prepared answer can turn a stressful question into a great conversation. When you're passionate and knowledgeable, it shows.
It makes a huge difference. Speaking of preparation, let's talk about researching the company and the position. RoleCatcher can help here too, right?
Absolutely. Crucial step. Understanding the company's culture, their projects, their values. It helps you tailor your answers and show genuine interest. Like if they focus on mine water management, highlight that experience.
Right. Or if they're big on sustainability. You could talk about green remediation techniques. It's all about making those connections.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher's employer database makes that research so much easier. Company profiles, recent projects, key people. You can even use it to come up with questions for them. Shows you're engaged and helps you learn more about the opportunity.
That's a great point. Asking those thoughtful questions shows interest, but it also helps you figure out if it's the right fit for you.
Exactly. Two-way street. Before we move on, I want to emphasize something. No matter how much you research, how well you know the material, practice your answers out loud.
Yeah, sounds simple, but makes a world of difference. Helps you with delivery, smooth out any awkward phrasing, build that confidence. Plus, you've got RoleCatcher's AI for extra practice and feedback.
Exactly, like your personal rehearsal space. Okay, we've covered a lot today. Specific interview questions, the power of RoleCatcher's AI, but there's one final piece we'll explore next. Crafting your personal brand, leaving that lasting impression. Stick around, we'll be right back.
All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We're in the final stretch of our journey to conquer that hydrogeologist interview. So let's bring it all together. Some key takeaways and a few secret weapons to help you stand out.
It's all about combining what we've talked about, the knowledge, the confidence, and a bit of that unique you factor.
Okay, so recap time. First, those interview questions, right? RoleCatcher's guide, it's a goldmine. Really helps you anticipate what they might ask. Practice those answers out loud. Use the STAR method. Keep things clear, structured, and don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI can tailor your answers to specific roles.
It's like having this whole team of career experts behind you.
Exactly. And speaking of experts, let's talk mindset. Walking into that interview, confidence, enthusiasm key. Remember, they see potential in you. You've made it this far. Now let that passion shine through.
It's like, when you're explaining something complex, like a hydrogeological concept, and you see that aha moment. That's the energy you want to bring to the interview. Let them see how excited you are about this field.
I love that. And of course, ask those thoughtful questions. Shows you're engaged, curious, and that you've done your research. RoleCatcher's employer database, that's a big help there.
It is, helps you prepare those insightful questions, really shows you understand their work. And it's a chance for you to gather information too, right? Interviews, they're two-way street, finding the right fit.
Absolutely. Okay, speaking of fit, something that often gets overlooked. Your personal brand. What makes you different? What unique experiences, skills, passions do you bring?
It's like, think about the signature of an aquifer, those distinct features that make it recognizable. Maybe for you, it's a specific modeling software, or maybe it's that passion for community outreach, water conservation, that kind of thing.
Right, or maybe you're amazing at 3D visualizations. Those groundwater systems, bring them to life. Whatever it is, let those unique aspects shine through. It's not just what you can do, but who you are.
Tell your story, connect with them on a personal level. Because, yeah, skills and experience are important, but finding a team and a company where you feel valued, that's huge.
Couldn't agree more. All right, before we wrap up this deep dive, let's leave our listeners with something to ponder. Now that you have all this knowledge, the preparation, what is it about hydrogeology that really gets you fired up? What makes you want to jump out of bed and dive into that world?
Hold on to that passion, let it fuel you, let it shine through in your interview. That genuine enthusiasm, it's contagious. It's what makes you an unforgettable candidate.
So true. And don't forget, check out the show notes, links to all of RoleCatcher's resources. They're amazing. Everything you need to ace that interview. Launch that dream career in hydrogeology.
Best of luck out there. You've got this.